Hey everyone, welcome back. I thought I'd do another update for you. Today's March 2nd, the end of the day for us here in Iceland. And overall, it's been pretty quiet. But before I get into this, I just want to thank everyone for leaving all of the comments and all the likes and all the subscriptions. When I started this sort of video series on the earthquakes, it was for all the people that were part of the channel already. And it's great to have all these new people in, and even better, all these comments that are giving me more information, allowing me to correct some of the things that I've said in previous videos with the proper information, especially regarding to some of the maps I'm showing. So thank you to all those people that have been commenting and giving the insight and giving your well wishes. So where I want to start off today is we're going to look at just the earthquakes during the last 48 hours and give you my take on it, as well as some of this hard data that's coming out from the news agencies here. So for me, I woke up a few times throughout the night, and it turned out when I actually got out of bed that there were quite a few larger earthquakes throughout the night. I didn't actually feel them, but maybe that was why I was waking up. But if we're looking at this table here, you can see, there's still a lot of earthquakes, and again, it's 48 hours, so you do have to keep that in mind. But we can scroll through and we can see there's just a lot of really small, I don't know if it's earthquakes or tremors, whatever you want to call them at this point. It's not anything really substantial at this point. I don't know if that's a good thing, if all these smaller ones is sort of building up to a bigger one. Maybe some of you watching have been in this situation before, and you can leave a comment. Let us know what it's like leading up to an eruption, or if it's sort of all this doesn't really matter. It could just happen at any point. That would be good to know. So if we're scrolling through here, as I said in one of the previous videos, is they do put in bold any magnitude that is over 3. And so you can see there's a lot of small ones, and there's a 3.1 here that was at around noon. I didn't feel that in Reykjavik. And you can scroll down, there's another one, near Ketlit, 3.3. And if we go earlier in the morning, there was a couple more throughout the night. There's a 3.2, 3.0, 4.1, and so forth. So it's, as I said, it's going to be interesting to see how this develops, because I haven't felt anything today to see if tomorrow or even throughout the night tonight we're going to get bigger ones. The news is still saying that it is probable that we're going to get maybe a 5 or a 6 magnitude earthquake still. But all the information and everything that I've experienced so far has been pretty good for today. So on to the news. We have a professor of geophysics at the University of Iceland that said that it's much more likely that everything's just going to stop and there's not going to be an eruption. Based on the statistics and the odds of everything, the data that they have, which is good news. No one wants an eruption, especially in an area that's so crucial to Iceland's, getting to the airport and people actually nearby as well. So one thing, speaking of the airport, is Keflavik Airport did lay out their sort of plan if there was an eruption, and they said that at the eruption site, it's at a 120 nautical miles or 220 kilometer circle around that eruption at the start, that all air traffic would be closed. Now, the airport does fall in that radius, so if there was an eruption, they would just stop all air traffic and then reevaluate things as it goes on, because as much as was said in the news and people have been saying in the comments, that planes can't fly in ash. So if there is any ash in the air, and depending on the severity of the eruption, then the airport may need to be closed for a bit longer. The other thing that came out as well was the University of Iceland released a new lava flow map based on the new data and the new sensor information they got during their measurements. And you can see here, it's very similar to some of the stuff that I've been showing before. And the color here, the lighter purples are less likely that the lava is going to be there. And then obviously the darker purples and blues or reds even are where more likely than not the lava will flow if there is an eruption. And you can see again, it's getting a bit lighter towards where the road is, which is a good sign. They are still saying, though, much like some of the people said in the comments, that the air pollution would probably be the greatest risk to people. The news agencies are also saying that the COVID masks that everyone has, or should have at least, would suffice for sort of the immediate term. So that's good news that everyone's going to be safe and that they are aware of that. There's no planned evacuations at this point, but tomorrow's another day and a lot can happen, I guess, within 24 hours, especially when you're getting a lot of seismic activity. Speaking of this lava flow, though, another thing that came up was there was a proposed airport section basically where this lava could potentially be going over. And now the government is reassessing perhaps if this is a good idea to put an airport in between Reykjavik and Keflavik. For me, Keflavik Airport is not that far. I mean, it's 45 minute drive. For anyone coming to visit Iceland, it's very easy to get to Reykjavik through the fly bus or taxis or even the city bus. It doesn't make sense to me to put an airport sort of in the middle of all of it, but I'm not in charge of the country, so we'll let them take a look at this. One thing that came up that right before I started doing this video, I saw in the news was a site called CoolBet is now allowing people to wager cash on the eruption or potential eruption, which I thought was hilarious. I'm thinking, I go on Reddit and I see, GameStop and I see AMC and all these stocks going crazy. And it's like, okay, this makes sense. Why wouldn't people start betting on an eruption? But it's also kind of a weird thing to do. It's like, even if you think, do you want to be betting on sort of this natural disaster? So I'm not going to be placing any bets. I don't know about any of you watching. If this is your kind of thing, you can take a look at this site and place your bets, I guess. But yeah, no offense to anyone who's actually betted on this, but I hope that there is no eruption. And if you have bet that there is one, well, I hope you lose your money, unfortunately. Don't bet everything, bet what you can lose. So that's it. It was a quick update. Again, I haven't felt any earthquakes today, which is always good news. It's a rainy day. I don't know if that makes a difference, the weather outside, or if it's all just kind of underneath. But that's it. So I don't know unless anything big develops. I don't know if I'll post another video tomorrow. But until then, thanks again for subscribing. Thanks for liking. And thank you so much to everyone who is commenting and providing more information than I have. Again, I'm just the average guy reading the news and trying to make sense of what's going on, because this is my first time going through any type of potential eruption. So thanks a lot, and stay safe if you're in Iceland and everywhere else in the world. Thanks.